Time now for sports on 104.7 The Cave. Here's Ned Reynolds.
Mike, the intern, Ned Reynolds in the studio. Halfway point of the week. Chiefs have a short one. Of course, they played Monday night against Tampa Bay. Got to turn right back around. Staying home, of course, against the Broncos on Sunday. Had yesterday off. They will return to practice today, so we'll have a little bit better idea of who's on that injury report. But what have you heard so far?
Well, Mahomes is the key factor here, and he says he'll be fine. He was more scared than anything else, and I do understand that. Anybody who has ever tweaked a muscle in a joint, be it your knee or be it your ankle or be it your back, whatever, there's a sharp, real sharp, instantaneous pain. And oh my God, what's happened now? Well, that's the same thing that happened to him. However, because it's a tweak, it can disappear very quickly. Now, I suspect that Patrick probably had a little bit of swelling, but these are professional athletic trainers who take care of them, and they know exactly what to do with the alternate heat and ice and so forth and so on. He'll be fine. He'll be there calling the signals on Sunday.
I think it was interesting after that happened, people talking about how he has some of the loosest ankles in the NFL.
Yeah.
And some guys just have loose joints, and maybe they just took them in that tent, popped it back into place.
It really wasn't in place, though. It's more of a hyperextension than anything else. So you just have to apply the substances like the ice and heat, and that gets it back pretty quick.
Well, it looks like he's good to go for Sunday, and now the trade deadline's over. Chiefs got Uche, D-Hop. Was hoping to get Lattimore from New Orleans. They're going to the Commandos, though.
Also hoping for Tre'Davious White, a kid from the Los Angeles Rams, a cornerback, because the Chiefs probably do need a little bit of substance in the defensive backfield. But White, who was with the Buffalo Bills last year, was with the Rams this year for only about 4 games. He's had ankle problems. He is going instead to the Baltimore Ravens, and that was a late deal yesterday, and so the Chiefs can count themselves out of that hunt. But that's fine. Kansas City has a very fine football team anyway, as everybody knows, but Tre'Davious White will not be with the Chiefs, actually will be with the Ravens, and maybe with the Ravens if they play the Chiefs again, which, Mike, I think is going to happen.
It's definitely looking like that right now, but we still got a lot of time left in this season. But I looked at it a couple weeks ago just for reference, so I could kind of see how many games we definitely could lose if we did. And, I mean, we've got a lead. We're a 2-game lead over the entire AFC, so things are looking pretty
and still haven't played the Chargers for the second time yet.
Yeah, so we still got to play the Bills, and again, we still got to play those Steelers. So we got a lot of challenges left in this season. All right, let's talk about college football. Got some marquee games this weekend, including Tigers and Sooners. What are the odds on that one?
I love it, too. Missouri, Oklahoma. That series, that rivalry, has been going on since 1901. But it's been absent for 13 years because of the change in conferences. But here they are, both in the SEC, and they are meeting up on Saturday night. First time in 13 years, Oklahoma has an overwhelming advantage in the series. I think it won 64 games, and Missouri's won 25 or something like that. But the last time they played, in 2010, Missouri beat them. Anyway, this game is at 6:45 on Saturday night. They'll turn the lights on at Faurot Field in Columbia. 2 old rivals playing for a second time, actually the first time in 13 years. Oklahoma is a 2.5-point favorite. I honestly don't know how the big guys in Las Vegas figure this one, because Oklahoma's had a down year and Missouri has not. But that's the way they have it shaped up. Oklahoma 2.5 points, Saturday night. Great game to watch, great game to be in attendance.
Oh, hell yeah, definitely. It's going to be an exciting time. I know there was a lot of chatter in the Ned Talk chat yesterday after the rankings came out for the college football championship. You got a guy in there that's a huge Alabama fan, and then you got a guy in there that's the opposite of that. And he first is to say, of course, they put Alabama in that top 12. And then you look at the other guy's argument. What are your thoughts on this whole thing?
Well, it went about the way everybody thought it would. And I guess if you can make a political reference, this time the pollsters got things right. Anyway, it is number 1, Oregon. Everybody thought it would be, followed by Ohio State, Georgia, and Miami. Now, the reason I mentioned those 4, they get by. If this remains intact, There's no way that it's going to, in my opinion, but as of now, those 4 would get byes in the first round. So then it's followed by Texas, Penn State, Tennessee, Indiana, Brigham Young, Notre Dame, Alabama, and Boise State. And wait a minute, Boise State, aren't there other teams a little bit better than they are? Well, that remains to be seen. Boise State is a very good football team, folks, but that's the reason that the playoffs is now a 12-team playoff instead of 4. The hue and cry is, well, hey, let's give some of those lesser teams that think they're pretty good, give them a chance. You might remember Liberty was given the opportunity last year to play in the Fiesta Bowl against Oregon. Got blown out, but it was the opportunity. Well, Boise State will be in those top 12 as of now. This is quite likely to change next week and the week after that because there are some huge games coming up.
There are, and again, don't freak out just yet because it's not in stone just yet, guys. I just thought it was so funny, the back and forth in that. But again, do you think they should be in there? I know what everyone else said, but what do you think?
I think they should be in there. I think they have a quality football program, but we will find that out this Saturday night, and I'll tell you why in a second.
Well, before we do that, let's talk about the Missouri State Bears and their probably best team in over 30 years. Where are they at this weekend?
They are at Murray, Kentucky to play the Murray State Racers. Yeah, the Murray State team, Mike, you remember their opening game was Mizzou, and they got blown out by Mizzou 51-0. And since then, Murray State has won 1 game. That's all. They beat Mississippi Valley State. I play a little trivia with you. Mississippi Valley State is, Itabena, Mississippi is where they are. Who is the great pro player who came from Mississippi Valley State? Do you know? You will when I tell you his name. Jerry Rice.
Oh, yeah, okay.
Jerry Rice and Willie Totten. They were the high-scoring duo, this is about 20 years ago, at Mississippi Valley State. Anyway, Murray State beat them. That's their only win of the year. The Racers have 1 win, 8 losses, and I think they'll have 1 win and 9 losses when this is all over because the Bears are a pretty doggone good football team.
Yeah, and when they return home in a couple weeks, better bring your butts to the seats. Gotta let those guys know we're proud of them, man. I mean, we were always like, oh, we're gonna need a good team. Well, we got one. Now we need to show up for them. But they're not the only ones in action this week. We talked about Mizzou, Oklahoma. We talked about where the Bears are. My Wildcats have the weekend off, don't they?
They do. K-State has a chance to be in that top 12. They've got
after the Houston game.
You have to wait. You have to wait now because they do have some pretty good games. They do have some significant losses. There's the key.
Yep.
Who is going to lose?
Yes, sir.
Well, the games coming up this weekend, Notre Dame, for instance, is host to Florida State. Now, Florida State is way down, folks, but that game in South Bend is Saturday night. How about Michigan, Indiana? Indiana's the magic team. They've had everything going for them. Hey, it's still Michigan, the defending national champs, but they are really down this year as well. One of the really big games, but turn the lights on at Death Valley. That's LSU's home field in Baton Rouge, Louisiana. And the home of the Tigers Den, and Alabama has to go in there to play on Saturday night. Watch out in this one. Georgia playing Mississippi in Oxford, Mississippi. Watch out in this one, too. Ole Miss is pretty doggone good, folks, but so is Georgia. We'll find out. It'll be a big weekend.
Yes, it will be, and luckily for me, I don't have anything going on except for somebody's big birthday on Saturday.
Oh, my God. Is it that time of the year again?
Yes, it is, and I'm going to remind everyone for the rest of the week so you get a bunch of calls and texts. Ned, have a great day, and I'll see you tomorrow.